the patient don't understand, it could be even his family, don't understand the condition, he will not know how to keep on managing his health when he discharged from the hospital. So, good patient education lead to patient education and patient engagement and adherence, or you may call it patient activation, but it's a big challenge. But before that, I would like to introduce my mom, who passed away this year. 7 years ago, my mom arrived to the hospital with heart failure, and the oxygen and the cotton level wasn't balanced in her blood, so they had to connect her into a BiPAP machine, and it's a very unpleasant feeling. It's like a mask that she felt that it shrink her brain, and for almost 10 days she struggled with us, with the nurses, with the doctors, and she didn't cooperate. And we almost lost her. And after 10 days of struggling with her, a nurse entered to the room and told her, "Mama, do you familiar with the sense that you're eating a bowl of hummus and it's stuck here?" And my mom looked at her and said, "Yes, this is exactly what you have. But instead of the hummus, it's a carbon that's stuck here. And the only way to take it out is this with the mask that shrinking your brain, but it will pull out the carbon and you will breathe again." And when she did it, my mom told her, "Bring it to me." And from that moment, she started to collaborate, and basically her life was saved. I'm not sure what my mom saw, but I saw an animated video, and I thought to myself that if the healthcare provider, the caregiver, had a tablet with a library of short animated video, we can close these care gaps that for 10 days my mother was struggling and didn't collaborate. But of course it's become more and more challenging because there is the diversity challenge. Not all the patients speak Hebrew. We found out that only a few %. So in Israel, the animated video should speak Hebrew and Arabic and English and even Spanish and Russian, because we have 20% of the population here who speak Russian. In order that the patient will be engaged and empathy, he should see his own character. A woman should see a woman. We know for study when black kids arrive to an hospital and you see a tutorial video with a white kid, he say, it's not me, and he will not be empathy and he will not be engaged. So if you think about it, we have to generate hundreds of thousands of personalized tutorial video in order to reach this tailor-made experience. And if you think about it, someone did it before us, and it's this huge American giant that became a company that was hundreds of billions of dollars. and the thing that they are bringing better than others is the ability to create user engagement, to bring me again and again to my feed on Facebook, on Twitter. The difference between a good dating website into another app is it's all about user experience. I met my girlfriend Daniela, say hello.
Hello.
In there, and the reason is it was a very simple experience. Yes, no, yes, no, yes, no. By the way, it's very equal. Women and men do the same. Yes, no, yes, no, yes, no. She did yes, and since then we're together, and we brought this method of user experience to help families to address tens of medical questions instead of this paper in Word. Yes, no, yes, no, yes, no, and they can answer in less than a minute. We can help them to organize tens of questions. How? Because we adopt the method of thinking of the best of the best. Amazon is 20 years ago. People who love this book also love this book. Netflix, we think you may like this TV series. Facebook, it's all about personalization, and personalization, it's a lot about culture. It's a lot about language. It's not only about the content. So I will show you an example. In a very friendly, easy way, the caregiver creates a personalized video. The user, which is the patient, receive only text message, even not an app. He answers questionnaires, yes, no, yes, no, yes, no. This is the mistake that Daniela did. Also informed consent. We give them out front at home, know about your rights and everything you should know before you arrive to the hospital.
Hi, we've created this customized video for you to watch before your upcoming colonoscopy. We believe it will be helpful in preparing properly for your upcoming procedure. Why are these protocols for bowel preparation so important? It's because the cleaner your intestines are, the more successful the procedure will be. You'll have to maintain a strictly clear liquid diet. It's important that you avoid any
Difference
juices that are
between a
red
young
in color
male
or any
into a
alcohol or
female
dairy
which is
products.
70 years
Over
old.
the course of the day before the procedure, you'll drink a special solution containing a laxative called Neurokin. Start drinking the first dose of the solution at 5 p.m. on the day before.
Personalization or the customization could be per healthcare provider. This is it.
We hope everything goes quickly and smoothly. Don't hesitate to contact your doctor's office if you have any questions.
And she can watch it again and again and again, because after we left the doctor office, we usually don't remember more than 10%. And my mother, by the way, was a very intelligent woman, but when it's come to medical terms and all the stress that she was feeling, she was in block. Nobody could arrive. So what we are doing, this is, by the way, Professor Gamzo, and we own everything because we came to create this concept after we was bringing to the Israeli healthcare system this concept of patient-centered. So we are shifting from treatment center to patient center. And you can see it as an experiments that we are doing in Israel on a national level. We're already touching hundreds of thousands of patients in the hospital, in the community, empower them. Each one received, he or she received a very personalized tutorial video, but it's not only about the video. It's a notification, reminder, questionnaire, anything that can push to better patient activation. So, and what could be better than Israel, which is the startup nation? I lived in Palo Alto for a few years, and Israel is the secondary to the Silicon Valley when it's come to tech. There are lots of talented people here. And so take the startup nation, combine it with Tel Aviv Medical Center, and you're getting the first patient-centered approach. I will take some pictures for our journey. We had the opportunity as a digital startup to being escorting the doctors, the nurses, to see how it goes. Here is a picture of an anesthesiologist who just did Aliyah, meaning he immigrated to Israel from the UK. He don't really speak well English, Hebrew. He met a Palestinian family. They don't speak Hebrew at all, by the way. They are coming from a very small village near Shechem. And it was like they didn't understand each other. And I'm sure that also in Chicago, you meet people who are arriving from all over the world, in the language and the culture, it's a huge curve that we have to pass. So for more than 3 years, we built here this engine that we went into even to the desert. We learn how people really use insulin, how they're managing the diabetic, the heart failure, people from different culture, very diversity. We understand how they capture, even from an anthropologic point of view, how they capture a chronic disease, which is completely different than you will meet Arabic from the north. From them, there is no chronic disease. It's something that, I treat my diabetic, and I hope that next month I will not have it anymore. And it's also educational effort. So after 3 years, we presenting an amazing evidence base. We reduced in 55% the pre-operative meeting. Think about all the thousands of anesthesiologists hours that now can serve in the surgery room. People arrive much more empowered, understand their role. We reduce in 50% no-show. We improve 60% in the colonoscopy, ball preparation, and it's also a financial outcome. Anthem, the health insurance company in the States, saw this result, and they invite us to do a pilot of post-discharge from the hospital in order to reduce the readmission rate. It cost them $3 billion a year, just in the category of commercial. So this is a very touching testimony. Isaac Sinai, who's an anesthesiologist who met an Arabic girl that have to repeat to arrive repeatedly to the hospital. And for the first time she received a video speaking Arabic. She saw a little girl, she was emphasized to her, and she sat with her mom, and her mom asked her some question, and the little daughter told the mom, never mind, I will explain to you later, I saw it in the video. So he sent us this text message to tell this story. I will not get in too much to technology, but just imagine that we are creating thousands of small micro content, and the combination between them can create any personalized tutorial video. There is a decision tree behind each one. This is the example of this Tinder concept, yes, no, and if I'm telling that my daughter has a diabetic type 1, day before the surgery, I will receive the text message that remind me, don't forget to bring the insulin, so otherwise she may not enter to the hospital. And if I'm taking some pill for blood pressure, maybe I should stop it 2 days, 4 days, 6 days before. Our system automatically will send a reminder, hey, don't forget to stop taking the pill. And by that we are improving the cancellation rate. This is, as you can see, we put a lot of attention to, usually the animated in the healthcare system, it's welcome to our hospital. and we wanted to bring much more experience and touch. The same thing, Asian woman will see an Asian woman, a young adult black man will see his own character, and it's increased sympathy. He will feel that this is belong to me. It's made for me. This is a scene from Kill Bill. There is one, because it's a epidural. You will not feel the legs, so we brought it. Eye injection, we met the old people, and we discovered that they doing it because they want to see better their grandchildren. So we create this seeing that he goes with his grandchildren to the museum, he look into the picture, and according to his medical condition, you will see different symptoms. And he will say if it's AMD, you will see black blotcher in the middle of the picture and say, hey, this is exactly what I have. And the doctor will give him the promise. If you will be compliant in the treatment, you will see that your daughter better, granddaughter. And it's not one time. We build a system that escort the chronic patient along the treatment. This is with the biggest HMO in Israel, serve more than 5 million members, and it's all thanks to Tel Aviv Medical Center. Tel Aviv Medical Center, we build the product here, we reach market product here, and only then we can go to other hospitals. And today in Israel, we become more and more standard of care, but not only for the outpatient, but also to chronic disease management in the community. Very friendly user interface that the nurse or the admin create this personalized video for any heart condition. So with the same Lego blocks that I mentioned, this micro content, we can use it to the outpatient, to transition the post-discharge from the hospital to the community, and with the same heart content and micro content we are using to manage chronic disease. So what's next? Again, thanks to Tel Aviv Medical Center, we built a collaboration with Mayo Clinic. They also invest in our small Israeli startup, and they took everything that we're creating in the cardiology field into the US market. We will localize and customize our product, see it as a SaaS solution, which is on the cloud and it's easy to integrate. With the Jefferson, pre-anesthesia, colonoscopy test, Elevate, which is they've been the preview anthem. They took our to the readmission and master to stop smoking. Very friendly use. The patient chooses his own avatar. And by the way, once it's an avatar, we don't know who's the patient. He stays anonymous all the time, so there's no regulation barriers for privacy regulation. Red flag. Most of the people, like in my mom's case, we didn't know that it's a red flag, meaning she suffered from heart failure. So a personalized video library that I can watch again and again and learn more about my condition. And here it's a project that I would like to show you. 6 months ago, Dimitria, a researcher from Colorado University, she is a researcher in the field of health equity and health literacy and specific in cardio conditions called PAD, that the Black and the Latinx community suffer much more than the average American. And the idea is using the GIST tool to educate the patient. She presented this concept when she generated a movie for a 70-year-old Black woman who suffered from this condition. She presented it to Johnson & Johnson. She received a grant, and now we are starting a study. By the way, Dimitria also joined our advisory board, and we're very proud of it because she brings knowledge and challenge that we don't have in Israel. And imagine a very simple, friendly way the patient and their family receive explanation about the disease, about red flag, that they should know that if my mom started to develop this red flag, it's not because she's tired or it's because it may be related to this heart condition. I presented to Mayo Clinic, and together with Dimitria and Mayo Clinic, we are going to establish a grant from the Patient-Centered Outcome Institute for the specific case, using our GIST interactive and intervention tool to educate the Black and Latin community, and I think, but of course not only them, but they are suffer much more than the average population from this condition. With Anthem, I think what could be more easy and friendly to the patient who just released from the hospital to receive a text message encouraging to schedule a meeting with the doctor to understand why she should take this medicine, to be familiar with red flag that is a very tailor-made and specific to him, not generate to everyone. And the idea is that by that we will encourage him to set a meeting with the doctor, with the expert in the community, to take the medicine, to be familiar with red flag, and hopefully to make the transition from the hospital to the community much more easy. Today, people stop answer the telephone. Anthem has more than 6,000 nurses sitting on the phone and trying to engage the patient to set a meeting because they have a financial interest in doing that. But less than 10% really answer the question and do it. Hopefully, thanks to this personalized digital approach, we can reach it. Also, we're starting with Jefferson, and Noam, my partner, Noam, say hi.
Hi.
Just sent me yesterday that we've been move forward in a project in Chicago, which is Illinois. So you want to say something about it?
Yes, so we are in discussion with the U Chicago for a very nice project in the gastroenterology field, starting there, and it's looking very promising and very interesting for us.
It's a very scaled product. It's so easy, like in the gaming industry. It's download the app. It's not an app. It's a platform. Customize it with the logo of the healthcare provider, and they are ready to go and start to engage and active the patient in their own language. And so I finished with a few pictures about from our journey. This is like dog Aji. And he been part in all the movie, and when we start to do market product fitting for the Bedouin community in north of Israel, the only thing that was bothered them in this diabetic movie is that there is a dog, because in their belief, dog is a bad luck. So we have to pull it out and maybe to put inside other elements that increase feeling of therapy and sense of control.
That's interesting.
So,
Wonderful. Good one.
thank you. And if you have any questions,
Yeah.
Does everyone have a cell phone?
yeah.
Access to video, everyone, including people who are poor or underserved?
Yeah. It's not only in Israel, in Africa, in everywhere. They will not have a computer, they may not have electricity, but they all have a cell phone. They all use TikTok, Instagram, and everywhere. Also adult people, they grew up with it, watching YouTube and Facebook.
I want to follow up on that question because, I mean, a lot of our populations, you know, they may have cell phones but not smartphones. And I think, you know, there still remains a digital divide, you know, within our constituent populations. And I mean, I think that the concept is brilliant, and and impressive, but I think for many of us, we still have populations in the United States with, cell phones but not smartphones, and I think that's a big difference that I wonder how we would.
As much as we know, and there is a project that we are about to start in New York, more in Queens area, in population, most of them don't speak even English. It's related to Medicare, and most of them have a smartphone. Also, we know it from research that Dimitria brought. Again, if it's not a smartphone, always you can use a computer, or even in the clinic itself. And I can say that also in Israel there is a very Orthodox community, Jewish Orthodox community, that are not allowed from religion regulation to use
We're
a
talking about
smartphone.
13% of the population.
Yeah, but not
it's
all,
small.
but most of them do have smartphone.
Yeah.
But among them there are some that are not allowed to hold a smartphone. So I can say that even reaching 80-85%, it's much better than nothing.
Yeah.
And also this 80%, not all of them will click, review, and watch. We reach into 90% activation. In some cases, it's even 50%, but it's much more better than nothing. And then the hospital can say, between the 50 people who should arrive today, now I have to deal only with 5. It's better than the day before that they have to deal with all the 50.
Any other questions? Go.
So I'm trying to think about this from the US model where, we have public insurance and private insurance, and all of our medical providers, they use different electronic medical record systems that don't communicate with each other.
Yeah.
So if I got care at University of Chicago, but then I wanted, because I have private insurance, I could go wherever I want to get follow-up care. Maybe they're my primary, but I decided to go to Northwestern for my follow-up, for my surgery, whatever it is. And there isn't that sort of communication. So I'm wondering if that's something that you all have to work within the Israeli system, and how you're sort of thinking about the
Same
situation.
problems
Yeah.
all over the world. Basically, we have this ability to integrate to any provider, any healthcare system. It's easy for us, and we also know to work on a standalone model. In Israel, it took us more than 2 years really to integrate it. Although Ichilov is partner and Professor Gamzo is, we own him everything, it's always take time. So we just had to open the computer, the laptop, creating this account, of course based on the cloud regulation, private regulation, and we ready to start to work. And it took time, and now we are fully integrated into the system. In the state, what we are going to do also with Anthem, we are standalone, and we get requests, please create a personalized video to a woman, ASEAN, 74 years old, suffer from heart failure, also a very specific condition of treatment, and we send it back to them, and they will send it to her. So you can see it like in a game. I was inspired from a game that my daughter was playing. She created the avatar, she worked with him. It's always stay anonymous. We don't know who is the patient, but we do know how to work with any health provider, hospital, and community.
I'm just going to be mindful of the time because we have one more thing and then we need to go. I want to thank Dan. Thank you very much for your presentation.
If I will still 1 minute, even less. I was very excited to present to you because, and I read as much as I can find on the Google on each one of you, and I think that we are really looking for partners and collaboration to adapt what from treatment center to patient center, which is not easy. Treatment center, it's always the same treatment. Patient center, it's much more complicated because human beings are more complicated. The diversity challenge. So if you can think about places that you would like to build a collaboration, and for this I gave this example with the patient-centered outcomes grant. We can work with you in the community. We understand it's not have to be in the hospital. It even could be in community health organization, organizer. We can, and we are more than eager. We have did what we did in Israel. We have a lot to still to do it well, but we want to start moving to the US and to learn and to adapt our system to the US challenge.